Welcome to Daily Meditation with Sangha Live.
And that's it. This week's theme is this month's theme is interconnectedness. The theme that I chose for the week is Dharma practice in a polarized world. And today's topic is from dissonance to resonance to coherence. So let us begin. So today we're going to explore the topic of the movement, the evolution from dissonance to resonance to coherence. And in one sense, this is the inner journey of our practice. Now, we may do the dissonance, resonance, coherence like 100 times a day. I connect, deeply cohere. Something puts me off, I'm back in dissonance. We may go through that many, many times a day. So in the micro, that's happening all the time. Even in our meditation practice, I'm watching the breath. And it's like, this is great. So nice to just stop and watch the breath. Oh my gosh. And then suddenly there's tension and tightness in my breath. What the heck is this? So I'm back in dissonance. Even though that tightness that can come up is a natural course of the progression of the practice. It can. It's a common meditation experience. It doesn't have to happen, but it is common. So we're back in dissonance. Or we're sitting and we're experiencing some pain. It's like, the pain, oh my gosh. And I'll never be able to play the violin again. Or whatever. Whatever goes through our mind. We experience this in the micro. From dissonance to resonance to coherence and back. And we also experience it in the macro, like our lifelong spiritual journey. I suppose I could even say our lives long spiritual journey through samsara again and again and again and again. Like a good bodhisattva, like the Buddha gave his example. We go through it, and each lifetime we're polishing the stone. Each lifetime we're perfecting our paramis, our spiritual perfections. We're growing, and that growth is actually a move from dissonance to resonance to coherence. One could even say it's a movement from samsara, these rounds of existence that are ultimately unsatisfying, to nibbana, where the state of absolute satisfaction. Absolute satisfaction is absolute coherence. Samsara, total dissatisfaction, is total dissonance. And the bridge between the two is resonance. And one could say that our spiritual practice, in the realm of samsara, the deepest state of coherence is the state of equanimity. Sankarupekanyana, equanimity towards all formations. The state or the stage, not the quality in our mind. The quality in our mind is like, what's going on here? Okay, hang on a second. Let me bring some equanimity to the situation. I drop in, I get a little coherence with myself. I resonate with myself, maybe even some coherence. And I meet the situation. Pardon me. I meet a situation that was a little bit dissonant before, with some equanimity that I've been cultivating in my practice, developing in my practice. That's beautiful. That's already kind of bringing some resonance, maybe even coherence to the situation. Equanimity is one of the enlightenment factors, one of the 7 factors of awakening, the 7th of the 7 factors of awakening. We bring that to a situation, kind of an attitude of equanimity, maybe even posture, an inner posture of an equanimity. That practice leads us to the stage of equanimity towards all formations, Sankara Pekanyana, that state of total coherence where the mind can make the leap into Nibbana. So if Nibbana, the state of awakening, that state which the Buddha said is waiting for each and every one of us who is walking the path of mindfulness meditation practice. Nibbana is there waiting for us, ready for us, welcoming us in this very life. In this very life. Let that sink in. That's such a, if you think about coherence, it's like, wow, that's beautiful and inspiring. That state is total satisfaction. It's many things. And that's a whole other week of daily meditations. But it's total satisfaction in the sense that it is the reason Nibbana is complete and absolute satisfaction is because of the absence of dukkha. It's not like you get into a warm bath with some bubbly whatever. It's like, oh, this is so satisfying after a long day. That's satisfying. The bath and the bubbly whatever, make the little music, whatever you do. Yeah, that conditions make things really satisfying. Nibbana is unconditioned, and the reason it's completely satisfying is because there's the absence of dukkha. There is no dukkha. It's radically absent. Samsara is radically dukkha. We have our bubble baths. Not dukkha, and that's great. I love my bubble bath. If I do one. I used to do them with my kids when they were little. If I do a bubble bath, it's very satisfying. But the water gets cold, the candle burns out, or the bubbles pop, and it leads to dissatisfaction ultimately. And that's why samsara is ultimately unsatisfying. The first teaching of the Buddha, when he set the wheel of the Dharma turning, dukkha setya. It's that unsatisfactoriness exists. It just means let's get with the program. It's not always there. We have moments of satisfaction, but since those moments are fleeting, the ultimate nature of this is unsatisfactory. That's dukkha. So we embrace that. We embrace the dissonance on our journey to coherence. In fact, it's only through the embracing of the dissonance, the acceptance, the radical acceptance of dissonance, that we can begin to resonate with what's really going on now. Oh yeah, this sucks, for example. Yeah, this situation sucks. I'm sick, or somebody close to me is sick, or I've got to do this, or that's going on, or if you look into the world, there's a lot of horrific news. It sucks. This dukkha creates all kinds of dissonance. In fact, it loads my nervous system 100 times a day is getting loaded with dissonant experiences. If you pay attention to what's going on in the world, if you stay off social media, you avoid the news, maybe you go to the woods, or you take a vacation, or you do some mental hygiene, and just get it all out of your life, then it's less. But if you're in contact with what's happening in the world today, my God, our nervous system is getting loaded, negatively loaded again and again and again. We're being assaulted with this stuff. And it's dissonance, and it just makes us want to say no. The fundamental movement away from dissonance, if you think of a little amoeba, in like a single-celled organism, an amoeba. If you were in high school, you looked at them in a petri dish, or you've seen it, whatever, go to YouTube, you'll see it. And you put something in the petri dish that is nourishing, nutrients for the amoeba, it moves towards it. If you put something in the petri dish that is poisonous or detrimental to the amoeba, single-cell organism, not much Pretty simple, not so complex. Not so complex. Single cell. You know, the atoms complexified into molecules, the molecules complexified into a cell. But it's a single cell, not that complex. But even a single cell, simple, uncomplex, non complex organism, when there's something dangerous, something dissonant, it pulls away, it moves away naturally. It's our nature, not just physically. It's fundamental nature of the mind. It's what keeps us in samsara. It's what keeps us in dukkha, which is the resistance towards dissonance. It's counterintuitive to like accept dissonance. That's counterintuitive. Also happens to be the path forward, but it's counterintuitive. It's so simple. This is simple. The practice we do, it is the simple practice. It is the simplest thing in the world. It is also the most difficult thing in the world. The resistance of dissonance is one side of the coin that keeps us in the rounds of samsara. The desire for coherence, because coherence is really nice. So great, so wonderful, so satisfying. Oh, coherence. And then, but coherence is conditioned. And that means it's impermanent, that it's gonna go. It's fleeting, it's gonna slip away. And then we just desire we desire more. Or coherence with another person. You know, you fall in love or whatever it is, and oh my God, the level of coherence is incredible. The desire for that is exactly what keeps us out of coherence. So again, resistance of dissonance, desire for coherence fixates us. We're cast out of the Garden of Eden in a very kind of simple way. And our practice is to align with coherence. Excuse me. Aligning with coherence is easy. To align with dissonance, which is not so easy. But as we begin to align with dissonance, there's an acceptance of that frequency, and that brings resonance. As we go deeper into resonance, things will start to change. Sometimes it even appears things are changing miraculously. And then we find ourselves in a deeper coherence, a deeper alignment with reality. Bring this to our practice. I'm sitting with the breath, not kind of working. I've got this stiffness in the body. I feel like it's rigid, it's blocked. Okay, let me do my yoga breathing, whatever, breath work or whatever we do normally to kind of get coherence. Okay, great. That settled thing. Now let me go back and just observe the breath, stop all that stuff. And suddenly the rigidity comes back. Okay, so that's a sign that's our forward leading path. We need to go through that growing pain, or rigidity or stiffness or tightness, whatever. It's a stage on our journey. It's a station that we need to pass through. That was it. Yeah. That acceptance, that understanding and that acceptance, not trying to change it, not trying to get rid of our experience, not trying to do my whatever chakra opening or yoga breath, or, we have so many wonderful, there are so many wonderful ways to get into a momentary coherence, like right now, whatever. So I'll take a moment. Okay. I centered, I relaxed, I stopped talking, I drank the water, and now things are back in coherence. If I was meditating, I don't do that. Meditation, I just stay there with it all. If it's too much, if it's really too much, I'll get some water or whatever. But I know my job is just to stay with it all. Simply observe, simply observe. And we do that. The deepest understanding of this movement from dissonance to resonance, from resonance to coherence, the deepest understanding comes through the practice of mindfulness. Yes, we need some energetic effort to kind of, balance ourselves, I guess. Yes, we need some concentration to sustain that mindfulness and to deepen. But mindfulness is the key. Mindfulness is the key. Mindfulness is the sole practice that leads to the purification of the mind. Mindfulness is the sole practice Mindfulness is the sole practice that leads one to the unfolding of the Dharma. Mindfulness is the sole practice that purifies the mind and awakens to a state of nibbana. You could even say that awakens one to a state of non-duality. That's fine. And mindfulness is the simplest thing in the world, and yet it is the most difficult thing in the world. So before we go into our meditation, let's just do a quick definition of mindfulness. John Kabat-Zinn really mainstreamed mindfulness. He kind of took it out of the religious Buddhist context and brought it into mainstream first through mental health and physical health, working with people who had chronic illness and or disease, chronic issues that the medical world could not really, they did everything they could. So he brought mindfulness and a few other things like yoga and also breath work. But those are both mindful exercises. He brought that into the science of medicine and discovered profound benefits. Oh my God. His definition, which is kind of the mainstream definition of mindfulness, is oh boy, I don't remember it directly, but it's something like the word non-judgmental is in there. Non-judgmental, accepting and non-judgmental awareness of what's arising in the present moment. I completely butchered his definition. It's somewhere in my notes, but my point was the non-judgmental part. He actually says it's non-judgmental. And isn't that beautiful for mindfulness? Mindfulness, whenever we're practicing mindfulness, whatever we're doing, meditating, or, in the boardroom, on the meditation room, in the bedroom, whatever, anywhere you might be practicing mindfulness, non-judgmentality is fundamental. It's impersonal. It's impersonal. Dissonance rises up. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, hi, there's dissonance. Non-judgmentally, I meet it. We move to resonance. Beautiful. Yeah, non-judgmentally allow that shift to happen. Something opens, unlocks, and it moves into a deeper coherence in myself or with others or in the world, whatever the case may be. Yeah, beautiful. I meet it. You you disconnect your microphone by accident. Okay. Non-judgmentally, I'm going to take a moment, stop, feel the embarrassment arising, reconnect it, do the tech thing, and cover it up with a drink. Non-judgmentally, we bring that feeling non-judgmentally to the situation. That's one of the fundamental characteristics of mindfulness. According to in Buddhist psychology, they don't define mindfulness that way. It's defined as that non-superficiality. It sinks. It's defined as non-slippage. It doesn't slip away from the object. It stays, and something else. These are kind of the basic qualities. I think that for our practice, it's the sinking that is what's the most important part of that definition. So whatever's arising in our practice, we bring a non-judgmental quality to it. When it's good, it's so easy. But when things are unpleasant, it's not so easy. When I have memories of we had a pool day yesterday with my two daughters, 8 and 11. Wonderful. And their friends couldn't come. So it was just me and them. We had the best time. Oh, it's so easy to be non-judgmental. We were like 6 hours in the pool. Yeah, great. Non-judgmental. When it's good, it's good. When things are more challenging, oh my God, today I've got to catch up with work. And so, okay, let me bring my mindfulness to this. And I'm surely going to run into some bumps of dissonance. But okay, non-judgmentally. Align with those, find resonance. Who knows, maybe even that resonance. Thank God I have this meeting with you guys. Sangha, the gym, one of the 3 gyms of our practice, I get to really cultivate some coherence here with my Dharma brothers and sisters, friends, families. What is better than that? Mindfulness is the key practice. So, as we're doing our meditation, we'll sit for 20 minutes. As we're doing our meditation, any dissonance that arises in your practice, you may notice the mind going, "Oh God, here we go again." It could be a thought, a memory. It could be a sensation in the body. It could be just general. Maybe it's morning. You're generally tired, or whatever it is, or you're hungry, or pains, or tightness in the breath. The breath became tight. Oh my God, I gotta breathe. I gotta fix it. No, no. If it's critical and you need to fix it, fix it. It's okay. But be with it. Accept it. Don't judge it. Discern what's going on. Yeah, sure. Oh, wow, I'm moving into tightness. Interesting. Allow it. Follow it. See where it goes. If it gets too bad, you can always breathe. It's okay. But yeah, stay with it. Align with what's arising. Why? Because whatever arises in the course of your practice, whatever arises in the course of your practice is your path. Non-acceptance of that, judgment of that, non-mindfulness of that, moving away from that is taking you off your path. Whatever arises in the course of your practice is your path. If you notice something dissonant coming up, maybe center yourself, then accept it and know it deeper. Allow your mindfulness to deepen. By doing that, you will move into resonance. If you find your resonance moving into a deeper cut of coherence, beautiful thing about coherence, it is effortless. Should you find yourself in a moment of coherence, which is anatta, non-self, all of me is gone in that moment or is out of the way, and I'm in conformity with the experience, allow it to max out, allow it to max out. But should it change, because it is conditioned, it is impermanent, should it change, just allow that as well. And that puts you back in resonance rather than dissonance. Okay? Finding a comfortable position. Eyes closed, open if you prefer. At the very least, turn in. Meditation is an inside job. Bring your attention to the body, and simply being mindful of the body, you will automatically be mindful of the most dominant experience. It may be pleasant, it may be unpleasant, it might even be neutral. The most dominant experience may be dissonant vibrationally, or its frequency might be dissonant. The most dominant experience might be resonant. Yeah, I can resonate with this. And you might even find that the most dominant experience in your body, you're in a state of coherence with it. Whatever the case, mindfully observe non-judgmentally and allow your mindfulness to deepen. And shifting your attention to the breath. And again, I always recommend the breath in the belly. It's kind of the school that I'm from, but this is just one technique. You can actually do your meditation, your normal technique. If you're doing choiceless awareness, I recommend you come into one pointed awareness for maybe the next 5 minutes and then let go into your normal practice. If you're paying attention to the breath at the nose or sensations or the mind, all that's good. My instructions are going to be for the breath in the belly, but they apply. They apply to whatever you might be doing in your mindfulness practice. As you breathe in, notice the sensations in the movement of the belly on the in-breath. As you breathe out, notice the sensations in the movement of the belly on the out-breath. As you follow that movement to the end, notice if there's a pause or no pause at the end of the breath. Should there be a pause, notice the quality of that pause, the characteristic of that pause. And should you be able to notice the characteristic of the pause, then be mindful of the characteristic of how the next breath begins. And mindfully follow that all the way through the process. As you stay with your object of meditation, notice if there is a frequency of dissonance in any way. And should that be the case, notice your mind's relationship to that. If there's any natural rejection, be mindful of that. Allow it to rest, allow it to relax. Return your mindfulness to that dissonant energy with acceptance and non-judgment. As you continue to mindfully observe your breath, you might notice some energy that is more resonant. Ah, yes, I'm aligned with my breath now. I'm aligned with the process. I can see it all the way from the beginning through the middle to the end. I can even see the pause. I know the quality of the pause. I can see the beginning of the next breath and follow that through. That's resonance, noticing what's there. And if you can't see those things, accepting and being with that is also resonance. Whatever's arising, accept it, resonate with it. And you may notice that you're moving more from resonance to dissonance, back to resonance, back to dissonance. All good, all part of the process. If you find yourself being effortful in that part of the process, accept that. Differentiate your awareness will move you out of the efforting mind and accept that the efforting mind is present. Be and be with it. Resonate with it. And you will notice the efforting relaxes. And should you find your meditation moving more from resonance into a deeper coherence, be mindful of the qualities and characteristics of that. Deeper coherence tends to be impersonal, non-self, tends to be relaxed, tends to be more peaceful, tends to be effortless. And its characteristic is rather satisfying. But also notice the conditionality of that it is also impermanent. And should that change, accept that. Mindfully practicing with dissonance, mindfully practicing with resonance, mindfully practicing with coherence. with each breath in each moment by moment, breath by breath. Bring your mindfulness back to the body. Feel the body. Being mindful if the body is more in a dissonant state, a resonant state, or coherent. No judgment, no preference. Bring your mindfulness to the breath and feel the breath. Bring your mindfulness to the mind and know your mental state, knowing if it's more dissonant, resonant, or coherent, simply by being mindful of your mental state. Feeling the space on the inside, and coming out of the meditation as you slowly open your eyes, feeling the space on the outside around you.
Today's podcast is an offering to you from our archive of freely available live daily classes. We make wisdom teachings and meditations as freely available as possible to as many people as wish to practice. You can help ensure we can continue to support a worldwide Sangha by leaving a review wherever you get your podcasts, by sharing this with someone who'd be interested, and by offering a small financial support at sangha.live/donate.